Hallo, liebe Lerner und Lernerin. Schönen guten Tag nochmal. Und heute sprechen wir werden etwas über das Perfekt sprechen. Wir müssen darüber sprechen, wie bildet man Perfekt und wie wichtig ist das Perfekt im Deutschen. Darüber werden wir heute ruhig sprechen. Well, welcome again, dear learners. You're welcome. Today, we'll be talking about the present perfect. And I need to remind you, there are two ways of expressing past tense in German. The first one is this present perfect. The other one is through the preteritum. This is much more common, especially when you want to express yourself orally. The perfect is mostly used, and it's very, very important. And then there are 5 points that we're going to talk about before we go to the practical aspect of the conjugation in the perfect. The first one is there are some verbs. We call them helping verbs. Hilfsverb. There are two. Sein, haben. Those are the two verbs. Those are the verbs that are used to build the perfect tense. They are helping. They will be like the auxiliary verb that will work together with main verb to build the perfect tense. So they are very important. I believe by now you know how to conjugate it in the present tense, and that is what we are going to use to build the past tense. So we have ifs verb, either of these, you can, depending on the verb you want to change to past tense, plus participe to. What do I mean by that? I give an example here. Here is a verb, arbeiten. Arbeiten. It means to work. And then I change it to past tense here. Remember, this is in the present. Ich arbeite, du arbeitest, arbeitet, arbeitet, wir arbeiten, ihr arbeitet, sie arbeiten. So that's the present tense. But now we have it here in the infinitive form. I want to change it to past tense, that is the present perfect. So we have ich habe, that means this particular helping verb, Hilfsverb, is used to conjugate, to build the present perfect, the perfect tense of this arbeiten. So we have ich, personal pronoun, habe, Hilfsverb, helping verb, and then gearbeitet. So we have personal pronoun, helping verb, and then the participe zwei. This is the participe to. Okay? And this one is very, very important. Actually, it is the original form of the verb that is converted to participe zwei. So we now have ich habe gearbeitet. Ich habe gearbeitet. The meaning of that is I have worked. I have worked. So this one, worked, is the one we call participe to, participe zwei. Okay, then we go to the second one, which is gehen. This gehen is also turned to go. It's also turned to past tense by using an helping verb here, but it's not haben that is used, it is sein that is used. Why? Because this verb gehen is a verb of movement. The verbs of movement, you use sein to build them, to conjugate, to form. When you want to form the past tense of any verb of movement, it is sein, the helping verb sein, that will be used. So that's why we have ich bin gegangen. 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 Yeah? So in essence, he's saying, I went off. I went away. Ich bin gegangen. Okay? I went away. Ich bin gegangen. Or I have gone away. Okay? So we have this gegangen as the participe zwei, or the participe to. This gegangen. Good. That is the first thing I want us to note. We have two verbs that are very important. We call them helping verb, Hilfsverb, and they are used to conjugate in the past tense. One is sein, the other one is haben. Generally speaking, haben has the greater number of verbs. Sein is only limited to few verbs, the verbs of movement. So that's the first point. Let's note that. Then the second point is the verbs that starts with all these starts with all these prefixes. All these prefixes, any verb you see starting with these prefixes, will not take ge. Actually, this ge is a peculiar thing in perfect formation. You see, most of the verbs, you see them, especially the participle to, we take the ge. Just as we have the example here, you see gearbeitet, you see gegangen, to be gegessen, gesagt, and there will be a lot of ge in participle 5. But when you see a verb that starts with this prefix, it will not take ge at all. So we have an example here. We have an example, and the example is beginnen, to begin. Beginnen, to begin. And when you want to form the past of beginnen, of course you can see is begonnen. That is the participle to. Begonnen. There's no ge there. And also zestoren, because it's starting with this well, let's call it this Z-E-R, B, G. So there won't be any reason to add this usual G that is common in the forming of past tense. So we see begonnen, and then we see, beginnen, and then we see begonnen, zestoren, zestort, gelingen, gelungen. So because they start with this prefix, there is no need to add ge when they are forming their perfect tense. Then the third very important point is there are some verbs that we call separable verbs, trennbaren Verben. These separable verbs, when you want to build their past tense, between the prefix and the main verb, the ge will enter, will stay in the middle. So we have an example here. Aufhören, we see aufgehört. It is between the prefix and the main verb that the ge will smuggle itself and stay there. So we have aufhören is the original form of the verb, to stop doing something, and then aufgehört, that is the participle 2, aufgehört. That's very important. Then we come to the fourth point, which is the verbs. Verben, die mit ihren beenden. The verbs that end with this ihren. They will not take any ge too. They are not friendly with this popular ge that is common when you are forming past tense, So all the verbs that end with ihren, they will not take the ge. Instead of taking the ge, they will not take the ge at all, and then they will end with this. So, and I have yet, they will end with yet. So we have the examples here. Telefonieren, that's the original form of the verb, and then you see the participle 2 is telefoniert. Telefoniert. So you see the end, the yet, and then there's no ge. Passieren. So you see passieren, participle 2, passiert. No ge. Just master that. Once a verb is ending with iren, you know that when it's going to form its participle 2, there is no issue. It's not going to have ge, and it's going to end with iren. Then the last one, which is also very important point there is I've mentioned it, but I'll mention it again, the verbs of movement. When you want to form the perfect tense, or yes, the present perfect, we're going to use sein for them, not haben, because they are verbs of movement. We make use of sein for them. Another verb that functions like that, another set of verbs that function like that, they are the verbs we call reflexive verbs. Now, other verbs and reflexive verbs, we usually take haben. When I mean other verbs, so many other verbs. So many other verbs. And all the other reflexive verbs, they will usually take haben, use haben as their helping verb, ist verb. So these are the points that are very, very important as we build the present perfect in German. Very, very important. And if you can master these points, it will be very, very easy. Again, I want to allay your fears. Haben, sein, sein haben, sein haben. Sein takes just few verbs when you are talking of conjugation in formation of the perfect tense, but haben takes a lot of other verbs, so high percentage of the verbs. And as you begin to practice, you're going to see very well that this is just an interesting thing in the German language. Okay, bis gleich.